In this video, I am discussed on silent areas of Edmund Burke and what is effect on Ambedkar's mind. Now we will discuss in this video Edmund Burke influence and them ideas and what is impact of Ambedkar's life. As a practicing parliamentarian and political philosopher, Burke expressed his ideas mostly in favor of the people of the colonized countries and sought their freedom from the European rule. The first subject Burke addressed in the British Parliament was about the controversy of American colonies and suffering of the colonized people of America. In support of the problem faced by the American colonies under the rule of King George III, Burke courageously spoke in favor of justice to be meted out to the people of colonies and argued for the American War of Independence from the British imperial governments. His speech on his matter is published as On American Taxation 1775. He spoke just seek peace and issue it, leave America and its people free from taxation. Do not brother them with taxes. Nobody of men will be argued into slavery. Taxation is a sort of legal slavery and not a matter of sovereignty. Burke for anti-colonialism and peace. Burke always appealed for peace and reconciliation. Given the scenario of a civil war during the American War of Independence, Burke supported independence of America through a mode of peaceful reconciliation. He said peace is preferable over the force of war. He made a bold speech in the British Parliament against the British colonial rule in America and reminded the parliamentarians that the people of the colonized were descendants of Englishmen. They are devoted to liberty according to the English political principles. He says, let the colonized always keep the idea of their civil rights associated with your government. They will climb and grant to you, and no force under heaven will be of power of tear them from their allegiance. But let it to be once understood that your government may be one thing and their privileges another, that these two things may exist without any mutual relation. The cement is gone, the cohesion is loosed, and everything has turned to decay. The dissolution, as long as you have the wisdom to keep the sovereign authority of this country as the sanctuary of liberty, the sacred temple consecrated to our common faith. Wherever the chosen race and sons of England worship freedom, they will turn their faces towards you. The more they multiply, the more friends you will have. The more urgently they love liberty, the more perfect will be their obedience. Slavery they can have anywhere. It is a weed that grows in every shore. They may have it from Spain. They may have it from Prussia. But until you become lost to all feelings of your true interest and your natural dignity, freedom they can have from none but you. Burke further argues that peace cannot be haunted by the medium of war and endless negations. It should be allowed to emerge out of its natural course from among the life of the people. Burke was not in favor of war or force to bring about political settlements. According to Burke, the use of force is temporary and cannot yield a peaceful society. He believed to Burke the use of force is temporary and cannot yield a peaceful society. He believed that the rule of the British in a foreign land was not sovereignty but enactment of slavery and therefore anti foresaw the failure of British rule both in American countries as well as in India because of the fact that territorial governance belonged to the people of the land and not to any alien rulers. Burke observes that the spirit of colonized or enslaved people to liberty is a strong than the spirit of the British governance. Burke proposed the following 6 resolutions to solve the conflict between Britain and America freedom fighters. They are follow. Allow the American colonies to elect their own representative, thus settling the dispute about taxation without representation. Knowledge this wrongdoing and apologize for grievance caused. Procure an efficient manner of choosing and sending these delegates. Set up a General Assembly in America itself with powers to regulate taxes. Stop gathering taxes by imposition and start gathering them only when they are needed, and grant needed aid to the colonized. In so doing, Burke argued for constitutional limits to British rule in its colonies. He argued strongly against unrestrained royal power and for the role of political parties in maintaining a principal opposition capable of preventing abuses, either by the monarch or by a specific faction within the government. His most important publication in this regard was his thought on the cause of the Persian discontents in 1770. Self-governance as the form of governance was strongly proposed by Edmund Burke. Burke, in his speech to the electors at Bristol at the conclusion of the poll 1774, defended strongly the principle of representative political governance against the ideas of monarchy or delegation on monarchy in the colonial countries. Burke and also Ambedkar held that property is essential to human life. According to Burke, the division of property formed the basis of social structure and progress of human society. Regarding religion, Burke and Ambedkar seem to hold to same opposition. For Burke, religion is the foundation of civil society, so also Ambedkar held that religion was a foundational social force. To ignore religion is to ignore a live wire. He said, for both human progress can only take place when social consciousness is supported by religious morality. Burke on the tyranny of East India Company. In his work on impeachment of Warren Hastings, Burke strongly proposes charges against the East India Company with reference to the governance of Western Hastings, the then Governor General of Bengal, on the basis of which Warren Hastings was put to trial. It was the greatness of Burke that he raised the issue of the tyrannous colonial rule. Burke was appointed as the chairman of the Select Committee of the House of Commons on East India Affairs in 1781. This committee was responsible to investigation alleged injustice in Bengal and other parts of India. Burke took a sincere effort to report the tyrannous rule of the British representative and concluded that the rule of the British in India was by and large condemnable. Burke openly and undoubtedly opposed the British dominion, and in particular the conduct of the East India Company. He felt that the British had destroyed much that was good in the Indian tradition. His opposition to British imperialism in Ireland and India and his opposition to French imperialism and radicalism in Europe made it difficult for the British parliamentarians to accept Burke as devoted to British governance. Karl Marx wrote in Das Kapital that Edmund Burke played a double role. On the one hand, he was supported the Bolsheviks, and on the other hand, he supported freedom of the colonial countries, which the church who in the beginning disagreed with Burke's political ideas later observed that Burke was foremost apostle of liberty and at the same time the champion of authority. His soul revolted against tyranny, whether it appeared in the aspect of a domineering monarch and a corrupt court and parliamentary system or other mounting the watchwords of a non-existent liberty. It toils up against him in the dictation of a brutal mob and wicked seat. No man can read the work of liberty and the work of authority without feeling that here was the same man pursuing the same ends, seeking the same ideals of society and government and defending them from assaults, now from one extreme, now from the other. Given Burke's thoughts on peace, liberty and self-governance, it is no wonder that Ambedkar took keen interest in Edmund Burke. However, Ambedkar was critical of Burke's skepticism to democratic polity.